All right, well, welcome back. This is our second episode, first of two. We're hoping that we have the sound right away from the beginning. Last week we had a little bit of IT issues. I am the IT guy here at Wisconsin Exteriors. My name is Phil Golding because Ryan told me I was the IT guy. But we're going to get started here and hopefully this provides some value for you. We'll start with introducing ourselves and a little bit about who we are, what we do. So if you guys just want to go ahead and introduce yourself, where you work, and what you do.
Troy, salesman with BKB Homes. We're a residential remodeling company in Neenah and Menasha. Do everything basically from start to finish.
Awesome.
All right, I'm the insurance guy, TJ Haymauer from Head Insurance, owner and insurance advisor, independent insurance agency located in Sherwood, and have a lot of customers in and around the Fox Valley area.
Awesome. My name is Ryan. I'm one of the other owners, along with Phil, at Wisconsin Exteriors. We are an exterior remodeling contractor, so roofing, gutters, siding, windows, fascia, soffit, anything basically on the exterior of the home. And we're excited to come to you live again today and talk a little bit, see if we can share a little bit what we're seeing out in the field and hopefully help some of the people that are affected by the tornado. Wanted to say thanks for these two guys coming along. We have a really good partnership with TJ as one of our main insurance guy, for our business and our auto. And TJ has experienced a lot of claims in the last, I don't know, we talked a little bit briefly, and you said it was maybe in the hundreds,
Definitely in the hundreds.
of customers that have had claims, just of his group. And then VKB, we partnered with VKB for a long time on some of their projects, doing some of their exterior needs. So excited to have these two guys and chat a little bit about what's going on and see if we can serve the community a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's a good wrap up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Didn't get many last time. We did get some views afterwards. Our goal is just, again, to provide value and create, I guess, conversation around things that we're hearing in the field in the storm. A lot of heart-wrenching stories from homeowners, and it's hard to go home and not want to try to help as much as possible. So hopefully you get some value out of this. If you do, share it. That'd be great. We'll get rolling here. We're mostly insurance building questions. We're hearing a lot of insurance questions. So TJ, let's start with you. Something that you had mentioned to me the other day, not in any order, just some questions, but somebody's like, as soon as I'm done with this claim process, I'm going to get new insurance. They're not treating me well. Not what I thought I was going to get. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
No, it's a big, I guess, kind of common misconception too. We get a lot of opportunities after someone has a negative experience with someone else in our office, and I caution people a lot of times, eligibility to get new homeowners insurance coverage after a big claim is really difficult, especially in today's property insurance market. I'm sure you guys have seen changes in your career over the last few years, and it's definitely changed a lot on our end too. A lot of times, for sure, like 3 years after a big claim event like that, can make it difficult to get insurance on your home or whatever property it might be.
I know even on, like, I had a claim a couple years ago on a sub pump. Mm-hmm. And I think I talked to you about, hey, because TJ does all of our commercial stuff, and I was thinking about bringing some of my personal residential stuff to him, and he's like, you just had a sump pump claim, like, you're probably not going to get anything. So, I mean, I can't imagine on some of the stuff that we're seeing right now, that being somewhat of an issue for people.
Yeah, I know a lot of times emotions are running really high. You want to make that switch. A lot of times, in a lot of cases, just I hate to say the word be thankful, but just off getting a renewal on your existing policy is a great place to start. That's a good starting point. You got a renewal offer.
So make sure you get a renewal first.
Yes, we have high risk options available for those that do get non-renewed. A lot of times a non-renewal does not follow after this is considered a catastrophic event. I mean, this is a huge claim, huge storm event. Most insurance companies understand it's an anomaly and they're not going to penalize you for it. They will on the rate side. That is a little bit out of our control. But as far as eligibility with that company, a lot of times they will not cancel the policy due to an unforeseen claims event like that when it's totally out of your control. Or like some pump claim is a little bit under your control, making sure your home is operating properly. taking the necessary preventative measures. This is just something that is an act of God. We can't control it. We just had to deal with the results after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I have heard a lot of people that were frustrated with their insurance company. I was like, hey, we recommend working with them. We don't want to fight them, but obviously we want to try to get you rebuilt back to where you were before. But there's also some people that are, underinsured in the situation. I think that might be part of that feeling like, hey, I didn't get what I thought. So maybe just don't shop the premium, shop coverage.
Right.
I've heard quite a few stories lately about underinsured, and people were insured for what they bought the house for 15, 20 years ago. And now building markets have changed, and it's a big price difference to rebuild now compared to what it was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
so it's
definitely. And that's something that we take a lot of pride in, is doing that, especially on a new customer. Doing a full review, especially when a new customer comes to us. Just, here's the coverages we recommend. Here's what we should have versus what you had before. And then if you set everything up correctly, it's really up to the insurance company to make sure that you're insured to what you should have after that initial setup. So if you have the same home insurance policy for 10, 15, 20 years, you should have a lot of safety provisions in place to make sure that you have the coverage that you need in a total rebuild like a lot of people are experiencing.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of stories about that. We've had a couple of appointments where they called and canceled it and said, you don't need to come look at it. The insurance company came out, it's total loss. We're not doing anything with their roof or siding or whatever. So we've had a couple of those as well. So, yeah. All right, so moving on. So kind of actually going off of that a little bit is we've heard a lot of stuff about structural engineers, and I know you guys work with some. We're actually looking to try and get one on for next week or the following week. We're going to do a couple of these. But what have you ran into with structural engineers? I know you guys work with them on other projects.
we do, and the problem now is with the event we had, there's only so many structural engineers in the area.
Sure.
People have to understand that it's going to take them multiple weeks to get out there to even look at it. Because there's so many projects going on right now, and they already had their original clientele. Plus, now we have this, so it's going to be a timely event where people are going to have to be patient with that. Even with our end of it, with the remodeling part, there's so many places to get to in these next couple weeks. We will get there, but it takes time, and the structural engineer is one of those first steps after the agent comes in from our end, because we need to actually know what happened here. Did something move and we can't see it? There's a lot of hidden features in these homes that you cannot see unless you have precise tools to measure them, and that's where the structural engineer comes in.
Yeah, and guys like us, we're not credentialed to speak to the structure or the integrity of the building. So the way that we've been seeing is homeowner files a claim, an adjuster comes out, whether it's a local adjuster or an out-of-town adjuster. When there's an event like this, a lot of adjusters come to the area to help serve the carrier or the homeowners of the carrier. And then the adjuster then will raise his hand and say, hey, we need an engineer out on this one. So you're right, it's a process.
It is.
And I would encourage homeowners to take actions to do some temporary repairs to make sure they're mitigating some losses, like tarping, boarding windows, things like that. And it would encourage all the contractors and us included to be cautious on some of these structures when you're up there doing some repairs, because some of these buildings are
They're
not in the best of order.
They're hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
The more you can save on them, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, and I spoke to somebody over the phone, actually a different public adjuster, and he said he feels really sorry for people that are going to be doing this. Like, they're going to put a roof on, and we might not even know that the house had moved a half inch. Right? So there's some big problems. So it's really important to make sure your contractor, whoever you're working with, is looking at those things. And if they're unsure, pump the brakes. Talk to your adjuster, your insurance company, and make sure that you do get somebody an engineer over there to make sure that you're not putting a roof on a house that has already moved a half inch and
Yeah.
you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Right.
So probably looking at drywall cracks, stuff like that, I would assume.
Yep.
Like, there's some signs that you need a structural engineer.
Even a regular house without storm damage is going to crack at some point, but it's the weird cracks you're looking for, cracks that are going from spots where there shouldn't be drywall seams, if they're cracking through the middle of the drywall sheet, or trim buckling in certain areas. I just had one the other day that they have full wall windows and all the trim is buckled. It's tight on the edges and it's pushed out the middles, and at that point, I just said, hey, we need to stop and back up and start over here because there's more going on than what we can see. And
If doors are hard to operate
Yep.
or windows are hard to operate.
even cabinet doors, if all of a sudden your cabinet doors were closing great and now we had the storm and now they're rubbing,
Yeah.
something, it doesn't take,
Something's wrong.
yes, it doesn't,
Yeah.
when those start moving like that, it's weird stuff that you see that wasn't there before. It's something definitely moved, and it doesn't take if a house moves a half an inch, it doesn't sound like much, but in the
It's a
grand
big deal.
scheme of things over years, you're going to have more movement in that, because once it breaks that seal, it's
Yeah.
Free-
Faster, they're moved.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
you're stretching everything out at that point, and it's but worst case, it's better to be safe than sorry to get a structural engineer out there and just have a second opinion and say,
Absolutely.
what's going on here?
And we're seeing a lot of emotions, right? It's emotional for us going in the storm every day, and we didn't even have, you know, I didn't lose anything on my house, just lost power for a day, but people want to get their houses fixed fast. Like, I want my roof on right away. And I think it's important that you just do it right and be careful. Like, insurance isn't going to pay to put your roof on twice.
Right.
You know, right? So, it's just it's a hard situation for the people because they want to be put back, and they're
Yeah.
kind of going next topic.
Yeah. Yeah, Molly from Finding Time last week mentioned, she would encourage, and I think all of us would encourage homeowners to just set good, proper expectations on when you're going to be back in your home and when the repairs are going to be done. Like, take your time, make great decisions on, you know, what work is being done, who's doing that work, because now is not a time to make mistakes, and now is not a time to really rush through some of that process. So.
Like you said, you only get one chance at it. It's you go through and rush through it the first time and stuff's not right, then you're paying out of pocket for the second time.
Yeah.
It just makes it that much worse. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like you said, stress levels are high right now.
Mhm.
Everybody is emotional, and I 100% get it. You said I've been in a few neighborhoods where it's total devastation. But then you have one house there's nothing touched on, but the 6 houses around it are completely gone.
Yeah.
So it is a stressful situation, but
And
you
it's
got
not,
to just slow down and
it's not like people were prepared
no.
for, from not, I mean, from a financial standpoint, it's not like they were prepared to pay these big deductibles and pay these, you know, that we're seeing a lot of roof endorsements on wind and hail claims. Like, a lot of insurance companies, especially over the last 5 years or 10 years, have really reduced the coverage on wind and hail. So we're seeing a lot of roofs that say it's a $20,000 roof. They have a separate deductible for that portion of the policy, but then they also have another like schedule or a unrecoverable depreciation on that. So to your point, it's stressful enough, not just being in your home and seeing your home destroyed.
Right.
But from a financial standpoint too, it puts a lot of stress on these people. Yeah, which is just, we're feeling for you. So.
And they want to get their homes fixed fast, like we're saying. Kind of goes to the next topic, TJ, about loss of use. Like, some people aren't in their homes and they need to get a roof and they want to get back in their homes. Like, what does that mean for insurance? What have you seen as far as like loss of use?
Yeah, the biggest thing I always say, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like you said, like emotions are high and you want to get back to where you were before as quick as possible, but taking your time, asking the right questions. It's not fun bunking with a friend or family member. There is coverage on your policies, almost every one that we have, where they'll pay for you to live somewhere, whether that be with a relative or at a hotel somewhere. Standard policy is they'll pay for up to 12 months.
Oh, wow.
I would say most of our customers have a premier policy where it's actually up to 2 years, where an unexpected total loss can take up to 2 years to get you back in your house a lot of times.
Yeah, maybe rebuilding the whole house. Right?
Yeah, because it's different for someone that's planning to build a house. Takes you 6 to 9 months to build a house. If you have to start from scratch and get all this put together, it takes you that first 6 months just to get plans in place.
Yeah.
So it can be a long, drawn out process.
Especially now
Yeah.
with the amount of
We were,
stuff out there.
new construction was about 2 years behind for the Fox Valley area.
Before this.
Before, yeah.
So as of now you throw in a couple hundred more houses and
A couple thousand. How many houses do you think were affected?
There's not as many total losses as the news might make it seem, but I would say, yeah, definitely a couple hundred houses are going to have to be totally reconstructed.
Yeah. I saw somewhere that the total losses is going to be in like the $1 billion, $2 billion range for
this storm, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned a catastrophic loss. Actually, that's where an insurance company, they categorize a cat loss by $1 billion in damage or more. So we hit that mark pretty early on. So it's going to be classified as that.
So that's like an insurance company has insurance, right?
They do.
Like
For these.
events.
They absolutely do. Yeah.
So
there's
it's
layers
like,
of insurance.
yeah, it's like when there's events like this, the insurance companies have insurance. So it's just interesting the amount of layers that there are.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of that. I learned a lot about insurance in the last 2 weeks. And I have a lot more to learn.
Right? Yeah, we're
I think
certainly,
we all do it.
yeah, we're certainly not insurance experts, but we know enough to walk people through the claim. And TJ is.
There's always something there.
But from the remodeling side, exterior remodeling side, like we're not insurance experts, but we're in the roofing business and we see a lot of insurance scope of losses and deal with hail and wind and some of these events. This is just to a different level.
Yeah.
You asked a question before, loss use. What is that, TJ? I don't even know what that is.
Is when whether the municipality or the insurance company or whatever deems that your house is not livable, it'll pay for you to live somewhere else, usually in like a comparable situation, whether it be a hotel room temporarily, and then you find, like, say you live in a 1,200 square foot house, you can go rent a 1,200 square foot house and they'll pay for you to live there while your home is being put back to where it needs to be. And like that length of time about what they'll pay varies by policy, usually between 12 and 24 months.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of tags like on homes that city inspectors have come by and looked at homes. There's green tags, there's yellow tags, and then there's red tags.
Yeah.
I'm assuming a lot of those red tags, a lot of those homeowners are displaced and hopefully on some sort of coverage like you explained there.
Yeah, and they are in the area that was affected too. There's a really big mix of homeowners and tenants too. So you got the property owner has coverage for the loss of income because they can't charge rent for a place they can't rent out. And then those folks that were tenants had renters insurance policies that also pay for that loss as well. So
the renters insurance will also pay to go somewhere else to live?
Yeah, that's usually more temporary because it's kind of expected, oh, hey, I'm not going to be able to occupy this home for another maybe 2 years from now. So you should actively look for a new place to call home, unfortunately. And then your personal property will be paid as part of that claim as long as they have that renter's insurance policy in place. I really feel for those folks because I think the percentage out there, it's skewed based on the study, but it's usually only about 40 to 50% of tenants have renter's insurance. Yeah.
Wow.
I think this, as sad as the situation is, I think it's a learning experience for all of us at this point. That there's more things we need to be doing with our insurance and stuff like that.
Please doing a review with our trusted agent.
Yeah. Not only do we get claims inquiries too, it's those folks that were 5 miles outside of the radius, and the eye opener of oh, hey, would I have been covered?
Am I
for this?
covered for this?
We're fielding those calls constantly, and that is something we are extremely happy to do.
Yeah.
Something that we hope our customers, I mean, they can take advantage of that at any time. We don't have the capacity to do it with every customer every year. But based on request, happily have that conversation with anybody at any time.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I never thought about that.
this is off, I guess, just as we're talking, I just thought about this. What do homeowners do if, with their mortgage payment? Does that continue during this process, or is there like a grievance, or is there anything that homeowners can do as far as that goes?
Most lending institutions are able to put some type of pause on things, but that's part of what that loss of use is for, because you use that to continue to pay your mortgage.
Sure.
That way you don't lose your house in the process, not only it being damaged, but losing the right to own your home essentially. So that's part of that loss of use coverage.
So how does that work? They pay, like, obviously you're still gonna have to pay for one if you're displaced, right? I mean,
Yeah,
so they'll pay for one, but then you still have to make your mortgage payment,
yeah.
right?
It's usually an inflated, so let's say it costs you $1,200, $1,500 a month to rent somewhere, or wherever that may be, your actual loss of use payment might actually be about $3,500 a month, so it pays for
Cover
both.
both?
Oh, okay.
That's good, that's helpful.
Yeah, I was on a adjuster appointment last week with the homeowner, and she had to stay with her mom and the kids and the cats and the dogs. She's like, hey, my mom's like, I need to move out of here. What can I do? And the adjuster was talking through it, and he said that they would even pay for part of that with going to her mom's house. They just write down the days, tell us what it is, reasonable amount, and we'll, pay you for that so that you can reimburse your mom for some food or electricity or, whatever it is, which was kind of cool to hear from an adjuster. I'd never been involved in that type of a conversation.
Well, I would,
with an adjuster.
yeah, I would encourage all these homeowners to ask great questions to your adjuster, because I assume in a lot of cases, somebody is staying with somebody because of what happened to their home, and that may not have been brought up to the insurance company. There are opportunities to use your coverage if you are communicating well with the adjuster on site or the carrier, and document those things, right? I mean, that's important.
Yeah. Pictures.
Yeah, last week, I'll just mention this again. Last week, Tony put a link in the comments for this National Association of Insurance Commissioners, and it's a post-disaster claims guide. Really awesome resource for homeowners to kind of read through what to do when this happens, how to stay safe. And there's some really great spots on the back to help you kind of document all of this stuff, who I talked to, when I talked to them, what we said, all that stuff. So maybe we can throw a link to that again in the comments here. But it's just a really great resource for homeowners, but document all of that stuff, and don't be afraid to ask questions to the adjuster that's out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or shoot us a question too. I mean, we can't help everybody out there. We're just trying to give you some resources. There's a lot of great insurance people, remodelers, contractors in the valley that you can trust. Just try to get a referral, do your research on them, make sure they're providing your insurance and their licensing, and we just want to give you as many resources as possible. So that's our goal with this. We can't serve everybody, and neither can any of us. So we got to work together as a community to try to rebuild, and hopefully less and less people get taken advantage of, by maybe out of state contractors or insurance companies that are maybe unintentionally even get a low estimate. It kind of goes into the next question here. So people get an estimate. We've been seeing a ton of scope of losses or insurance estimates. How does it work as far as supplementing goes? Like, hey, this is what the adjuster saw, but there's actually more. Contractors like us find more than the adjuster finds. What does that look like on the insurance side for homeowner? Like, what kind of questions should they be asking about that?
Right. Yeah. Like I said before, don't be afraid to ask this question, because we experience hundreds, if not thousands, of claims every year. And as a homeowner, hopefully you only have one or two in your lifetime. So we're very familiar with that process. That initial estimate by the claims adjuster doesn't really take into consideration any third-party information a lot of times. It's kind of, they have to follow their rules as to what, on face value, what they're anticipating they're gonna pay. They usually are pretty close, but they make their best estimate. It almost never fails that there will be more stuff found, just like a vehicle claim. You smashed the grill, but you didn't think about the stuff underneath the hood that was damaged.
Right.
So that initial payment is the actual cash value or depreciated settlement claimant. That is not the only thing the homeowner is going to get. That is an upfront payment to secure contractors like yourself, because you guys don't expect to do something for nothing either.
Right.
So I use that as down payment on contracts, down payment on getting things taken care of. Buy yourself some clothes to make it to work next week if it was that bad. That's what that's for. And then you have your recoverable depreciation. You guys mentioned that a couple times. That is kind of to bridge that gap. And then if there's more found, that's where your supplement comes in. And that's just having that communication line open with your claims adjuster, letting them know, hey, here's what you plan to be repaired. There's a couple extra things on this list. Get it approved by them before you get it done. So you know, hey, it's going to be approved by my insurance company. And then you guys have the approval to go do it. And you know, you're going to get paid on it too. So
a lot of times, if you're working with somebody that is familiar with the insurance process, like us or guys at VKB, we're the ones that are kind of helping you through that supplementation process.
Right.
Like, that's a lot for a homeowner to like, you know, provide code documentation or manufacturing specifications. I mean, we're not expecting the homeowner to go up on the roof and measure X, Y, and Z to take a picture to send to the adjuster to get, you know, 5 more sheets of OSB that were hidden from the initial scope.
Right.
So a lot of times that's your trusted contractor doing those types of things, right?
That's what you had said before. It's part of the reason you want to make sure you have a licensed contractor or something like this. They're up to date on all building codes and what's going on. And you don't want to get stuck with fly by night guy. And all of a sudden you're into the process and you get to that point, he doesn't know what to do then because insurance is going to ask for a license at some point and say, where's your license? And then
and I mentioned this, I think I mentioned this last week, but a lot of people have never filed claims like this before.
Right.
So they don't really understand this process, but the insurance companies are the doctors, right? They prescribe and they diagnose, and the prescription is the scope of loss, which there's a stack of them right here on our desk. But that prescription is the scope of loss. Contractors like us, we're the pharmacists. So in order for us to fulfill the order from the insurance company, we got to see what the insurance company deemed as the loss, right?
So our estimate is accurate.
So our estimate is accurate, certainly. And we have seen, and there's kind of 2 ways to go about it. I don't know how there's 2 ways to go about it. Some homeowners don't feel comfortable sharing the scope of loss with us. So we'll just talk to the homeowner about what they want us to have done. And then we'll create an estimate like a normal retail estimate. And sometimes that's not close to what the insurance company is paying. Yeah. In an event like this, homeowners should be not paying anything in additional to the claim besides their deductible and any unrecoverable depreciation, unless they are upgrading materials or changing materials, or the scope of loss is the insurance companies pay for like quality materials, and they dictate all the pricing based on fair market value in the region, right? Right. So, you know,
They try to.
They try to. Yeah.
Some stuff that's a little off.
Yeah, and they're close on a lot of stuff, but you know, the market has shifted a lot in the last 10 years. So I would encourage homeowners to, and I don't know if you would echo this, but if you trust your contractor, you should be sharing your scope of loss with that person.
Yeah.
So he can see how to get you whole again after the storm. Because that's really that's your prescription of, that's what we got to do to get you right again.
I would say 9 times out of 10, that's where the biggest issues arise, is when you're withholding some information from someone. Or
Yeah.
I use the simple example of when someone asks me to quote their homeowner's insurance, and then they like Sharpie out the pricing.
Yeah.
That stuff is set by someone other than myself. I don't care what you pay. I'm going to give you my best shot at it no matter what. Same thing with that scope. I mean, if you're withholding some information or not sharing it at all with your contractor, how are you supposed to know if they're doing a good job?
Well, and the insurance policy is not for the homeowner to profit the proceeds,
Right.
right?
A lot of times we hear that, like, I just want to get the cheapest roof. They're paying us 20,000. I found somebody to do it for 18.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They're trying to save money, which that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's their money. They get to make the choices.
Yeah.
But also there's some liability there, because if the insurance company missed some things on your roof, like starter shingles or, something else, a contractor that doesn't know about it and he just comes in, does it cheap.
Yeah.
Well, now you're leaving money on the table with the insurance company that you're not getting the same roof, or maybe it's not quite to code. Lots of liability there, if you're not looking at it by an experienced contractor.
And to that point, there is no point to which a contractor should be waiving your deductible.
No,
Agreed.
big red flag.
Big red flag, which we might talk about in a little bit, but that is the homeowner's responsibility to the claim.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
And no different than health insurance, auto insurance, homes, very similar in their regard.
And kind of talking off that deductible piece, yeah, for sure, if they're waiving your deductible, huge red flag, or if they say that or any language like that, major problem. Stop, pause, call somebody else.
To be frank, it's insurance fraud.
It's insurance fraud. It's illegal for sure.
If a contractor is willing to defraud $100 million insurance company,
Yeah.
what's he willing to do to Mr. and Mrs. Jones?
Right.
Right. Like,
And another thing I want to point out too is like the deductible. So one person I was talking to in a tough situation with their insurance and their claim, and roof is depreciated. He's like, I don't have any money for my deductible. Like, I don't have $5,000 to write a check to the insurance company. And can you tell us a little bit about how the deductible works on the ACV? Like, I mean, it's subtracted from the claim. It's not like they have to stroke a check. He's like, I can't write a check for this. I'm like, well, just hold on.
Yeah, it's not an immediate, like, they need funds right now.
Right.
It is good. It's usually upfront in that first notice of loss. Here's what you should expect. But yeah, biggest difference, like I mentioned, with the percentage deductibles, we see those with a lot with direct writing companies. I'm not a big fan of those. We only use them when we have to. But a flat deductible versus your percentage is calculated off of your home insured value. So if your home's insured for $500,000, that's a $5,000 deductible.
Doesn't matter what you paid for.
Doesn't matter
Right,
what you
whatever
paid
it's
for.
insured.
We get assessment, we get tax assessments, we get all different types of things. That means nothing to us in the insurance world. It is, what does it cost to replace your home? That's what we insure it for. So, and most mortgage companies, most banking institutions, they require that too.
Yep.
But yeah, coming up with that is just subtracted from your settlement. So let's use the example of a roof. It costs you $30,000 to put a new roof on. Your deductible ends up being $4,200. That just gets subtracted from what you're going to get paid from the insurance company. And you will have to stroke that check to the contractor.
The contract. They don't have to write a check to the insurance.
Not to the insurance company.
Yeah.
No, it's to basically to pay the invoice in full.
Yeah.
And that will be done. That will be done when work's completed too. So you
and
buffer of time.
And typically a carrier is going to want to see that at the end of the job in an invoice somewhere from the contractor.
Yep.
Right. So,
So they have to
just don't want somebody to get.
What do you guys?
Most of the time, we ask for photos and a paid invoice. Small thing that was missed a lot of times is notifying us that it was done. Because let's say somebody, I had an example last week of a customer that had a hail claim, and the roof was replaced from the insurance company, and they still showed a 2015 roof on their policy. we don't automatically update that. So let us know, hey, the claim's closed, I got a new roof on, I have a 2026 roof on my house.
Well,
I'll
and-
give you a better rate too.
Right.
Well, and if there's recoverable depreciation on the backside of that,
Right.
they potentially have more money coming from the claim.
Mhm.
You know, if you're working with a contractor that doesn't speak that or see that a lot, you know, a homeowner gets their ACV check and they think, oh, that's all I'm getting from the insurance company. And then they forget, oh, I got $4,000 coming in recoverable depreciation yet. So
A lot of people have no idea how much money they're getting. I've had multiple people just put the scope of loss down, like, what does this mean?
yeah, nobody knows
How
what it
much am I
means.
actually paying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what I can have you do, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't know how much money I'm
Yeah,
getting.
yeah. I mean,
Let's sit down and let's go through it.
I mean, there's 40-page scopes of loss right here.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of line items on there.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff on there.
You
The
start-
roof, the front elevation, the rear elevation, left, right
For
elevation.
yours, it's gotta be,
It's
trim.
everything.
That's-
There's all the little stuff you don't think about. Just,
Yeah.
even like outlets that got water in them
Oh.
from the storm, and
Yeah.
that stuff all adds up really quick. And like you were saying, a 40-page scope document is pretty common
Yeah.
with a storm like this. It's-
Yeah.
And to touch on what you said before, like people not showing you as a contractor that scope of loss, if you don't feel comfortable enough to show that to your contractor, you might not have the right contractor.
That's what,
I mean, you want to have a contractor that you trust.
yeah.
They're dealing with the place you might live for the rest of your life. I mean, and if you don't feel comfortable enough to show them that, that might be a red flag that, hey, maybe I need a second opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and the other side of that coin is if the contractor is demanding it right now
Yeah. like,
Yeah.
you gotta sign
and
it.
pressuring you,
High pressure, this is not the time for high pressure.
yeah, it's like, it's okay to date the contractor a little bit
Yep.
and vet them and research them before, but at some point during the process, you got to get to a point where you trust this person. And there are a lot of contracting companies that will ask homeowners to sign contingency forms.
Yep.
We don't,
Be careful.
yeah, we don't do contingency forms. What a contingency form is, hey, I'm the contractor, sign this piece of paperwork. I am gonna look through your claim and represent you in the claim, get the most money out of the claim and all the stuff that needs to be in the claim. If I do that for free on your behalf, I expect the work. Well, now there is some level of that to a contractor. Like we put in a lot of time on this front end stuff. We want to do the work.
Yeah.
But you know, for the most part, just date your contractor and understand that the scope of loss is the prescription. That's what we have to go off to get you right.
So going to the payment part, you touched on this, TJ. So they want to see a final payment, paid invoice to get that last piece. So what if the homeowners don't have the money? Obviously, as contractors, we want to get paid for our work, and every contractor should want to get paid for their work. How does that work with, I mean, can they take draws out? I mean, some of these people have a lot of things that are getting done on their house. Contractors like, hey, I need 50% down. Anybody that asks for more than that, that's a red flag as well.
Yeah.
But how does a homeowner pay for this? Like, what does that look like from the insurance side?
So when you have a lot of different contractors involved on the same repair, it also, again, that vetting that contractor is really important because insurance work is a lot different than a piecemeal job because the customer is not getting paid until their house is put back together. And someone who just tarped the roof, that money doesn't get sent to the insured for another maybe 9 months. So that 30-day, 90-day paid invoice is not going to be enough time. So ideally that ACV settlement in the beginning is going to be enough to like get those people taken care of and so you're not getting harped on by another contractor.
Sure.
But yeah, it can be a long delay because it's usually only like 2 payments. You're getting that first up front one, and then when everything's done, the homeowner's going to get the rest of it, unless there's some supplements in there, which is expected. But
Yeah.
the delay working with contractors that have insurance experience, working through the claims process, because the payment is not, you're not gonna get paid as you go. You're not gonna, the insurance company doesn't have the capacity to issue 25 payments throughout the claim either.
Like when you're building a house.
Like when you're building a
draws or something like that.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah, we've seen people have to get creative sometimes. It's a bad situation to be in. Sometimes you take out a home equity line of credit on a home that's in pieces, and they have to do that sometimes. Ideally, that's not the case. So ideally, personal loans don't get involved. The goal of all insurance companies with that contract you sign with me or another agent is to get you put back to where you were before as quickly as possible, minus your deductible. Within reason. So you're not going to come out ahead.
Yeah.
So that's not the goal.
I think people think they're gonna make money on it. Or,
Some people feel like they won the lottery.
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't feel like that.
In some cases, you get a new roof. That might be like winning the lottery too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's a big claim, like a total house loss, I mean, you do not expect to come out ahead on it. I mean, it's supposed to get you back to where you were before in a reasonable amount of time and make it as painless as possible. So partnering with good insurance professionals and good insurance companies is super important. And unfortunately, people might realize they might have been in a bad place at this point. But the ones that are with good companies are working with good adjusters right now. I mean, all of our companies have brought in really good teams, and our customers are getting really well taken care of. Again, most of the time when it goes south, it's usually short term. It's usually a lack of communication. So it's breathe, take the time, ask questions, and that's usually enough to get things on the right track.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're at 41 minutes, so ending comments, and we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching. If it's been valuable, please share. Next week we are trying to get probably looking for a public adjuster to bring on. We're talking to a couple, answer some of those questions.
Maybe some real estate people.
Yeah, some realtors. I know there's some people that have talked about like, hey, I'm moving. How does that work? I don't want to be here anymore now that this has changed. So there's a lot of questions we're getting. We're just trying to answer them for you. Hopefully it's valuable to you guys. But any ending comments that you from stories you've heard and the storm of recommendations of people out there?
I just want to hear a little bit about what you guys are going through. Because you guys, your office and your shop was kind of like dead. It's gone.
We lost our whole office shop area. Luckily, we had plans in place. We're in a new building already.
Awesome.
So we're up to full capacity. But just the stuff we're seeing in houses is all I can say is just be patient with people, because everybody's trying to do their best. And it's everybody wants everything now, and there's only so many people to go around, and it's a time that everybody wants to be back in their home, but it's going to take some time to rebuild what we have to rebuild, because there's so much of it. I mean, with the whole neighborhood's gone, and it'll get there, but it's stressful for everybody, and everybody's got to kind of work together on this. And
well, it's amazing to see. I mean, I was down on First Street in Menasha yesterday for an appointment, and the guy came out of his house. He was just so excited. He's like, "We got power! We got power!"
It's a little thing right now.
That's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And I think he said it was 10 days or something, but to see the pictures and to be down there day 2 and to see where it was at, I mean, just the utility workers alone, like, I don't know how many crews from how many cities and states were here, but to take that, what I saw on day 1 and 2, to we have power to almost, I'm sure there's some people without power, I don't know that for sure, but First Street was pretty bad in Menasha. Like all the poles were down, all new poles, all new power lines, like they got power.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty incredible.
Those guys have been working nonstop.
Super awesome. Volunteers helping with removing trees, and some contractors that are, started up groups and helping a ton of people and tarping roofs and all that. It's been incredible to see the community come together. So
it is.
Yeah. So
you got anything, TJ?
Final notes?
Thank you, Ryan, Phil. It says a lot about your guys' character as a company too, for hosting something like this as a resource to people. Just know those people that are struggling or having a hard time, there's people out there, there's resources available. Just
211 is a great resource, right? That's a number that people can call to report their damages, for one, and then 2, they have good resources for people to kind of guide you through some of the process. I think that's,
Social media is a great tool. I've seen a lot of it. There's some Menasha groups, Appleton groups out there. There are some good contractors in those groups as well, and volunteer efforts and donation efforts and all kinds of stuff in those groups. So maybe some of the older people that aren't on social media maybe aren't even watching this because of that. But maybe show your grandma this. Like, there's groups out there that are willing to help in times of need. So we appreciate that for sure for the community doing that.
so next week, same time, same place.
Yeah, next Tuesday noon. We're not sure. We'll make a post of who's going to be here. We don't have it all lined up. This is our second one, so thanks for your patience. First one, we didn't have audio for 2 minutes, and this week we did. So we're making progress. So thanks for watching, and everybody have a great day.
Thanks, guys.